Hi Spuds, welcome back to another video, the first video on the channel. I don't know, but welcome either way. I'm very glad to have you here. If this is your first video on the channel, this is not my usual setup.
No.
My name is not Luxeria.
Yeah.
This is Luxeria.
Hi everyone,
who
hello.
is joining me for the video today.
Yes.
I'm really excited to have you on the channel, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me in my own studio.
And I was like, thank you for having me, having you on my channel.
On a new digital address. Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? Isn't our job funny?
No,
Sometimes
so
it's just
weird.
funny.
Oh, and this is
it's a special guest, Biscuit, who's very enamoured with Jamie today.
Mr. Biscuits. We've decided I'm taking him home.
Oh, you can, to be honest, you can borrow him if you want.
I will not pay attention.
Look how long he is. Long sausage.
Long but short.
Long but short.
Very short.
You don't measure a dachshund in height, you measure them in length.
So today, I've done this once before on my channel.
Yes.
And it's both uncomfortable that it exists, but
yes,
kind of hilarious.
Yes.
Transvestigators.
Yes! Oh,
This
Transvestigators.
It's such a weird conspiracy.
It is, isn't it?
The deepest thing I've seen is that some people basically believe that every celebrity is trans, and in exchange for their fame and fortune, that's why
They
they're
have to be trans.
They have to be trans.
Oh.
And I don't know how they explain Elliot Page.
I don't think they do. I
No,
think
I
most of
don't
them
think
are
they
like,
do.
do you know what? Let's not.
Elliot Page doesn't exist.
No, well, I think they would rather he
just
didn't. Let's be
ignore
honest
him.
with that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because this feels like a particularly modern phenomenon, like a modern conspiracy theory. I didn't hear about this in 2019.
No.
I hear about it all the time now. If you spend any time on X or Twitter, they are
Even
everywhere.
if you're not looking for it,
Yeah,
it's
you'll
just
find
like,
it.
Oh wow. Yeah, and some of the people they pick, it's like, really? You could have tried to make it semi-realistic with who you're going after.
Ooh, we're getting clocky here on the channel.
But it's so based in the we can always tell.
We can always tell.
We
Except
can
they
always
can
tell.
never tell. They can never tell.
tell.
Biscuit, you're being a bit too much. I'm
Yeah,
going to put
I
you
know.
on the floor now.
Goodbye, sir.
Okay? You're being a good boy. Thank you.
I don't think you can scroll on Twitter without seeing something. So these are mostly ones that have been found on Twitter and various other places, and they're very interesting. They rely very heavily on just not okay stereotypes.
I can't wait because
Yay.
do you know what I love? A stereotype. I've never said that in my life. No, I've got no time here for stereotypes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, if you don't know me, my name's Luxeria and I make plastic surgery
sorry, I
content
didn't
and reality
even
TV here on
introduce
YouTube. That's alright.
I'm so bad at my job. Yes, please go
Me too.
show Luxeria some love. There'll be links down in the description
Oh,
box.
thank you.
And probably a pinned comment if you want to leave a comment.
Oh,
I
no,
can
that'd be
pin it.
nice. It'd
Yeah.
be like, blocked.
Filming with you is so similar to filming with
Do you
Rowling.
know, I
It's
knew this was going to come up today because we're similar energy,
Yeah.
so I get you.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
being a bit
slightly different
bothersome.
conversations. But
Slightly different,
Yeah.
yeah. Rowley didn't become a woman, as far as we know. Although my dad, when he first met Rowley, was like, she's very tall, isn't she? And I was like, Rowley is a man. I was like, thank you for trying to be inclusive, I
Yeah.
think, but you've really missed the mark here.
Yeah,
Funny.
Transvestigator.
We can always tell.
I get called a trans woman by transphobes more so
Just
than not.
unhinged
And it's-
behaviour.
Yeah. Watching Some Like It Hot, Marilyn Monroe is 100% a man. No question at all. Easy to see the male spine if you watch the movie. Do they have X-ray vision? Just see her spine. What is a male spine?
A
What
male
the-
spine.
That's not even something sensible to go after.
We can always tell a male spine. Can you tell a male
A
spine?
male spine. What is a male spine? You see, they could have at least gone after ribs. hips,
Yeah, yeah.
Things that actually kind of can have some differentiation.
Yeah, what
But,
does a male spine look like? I don't know, does it have a penis on it?
I
don't know, is it attached to the penis?
balls at the end.
Oh,
Could you imagine?
no.
Out the lower back.
If Marilyn Monroe had balls on her lower back in Some Like It Hot, I don't know what version this man was watching, but clearly he's got something to say.
Yeah.
I do find the concept of transvestigators really weird because they speak with such conviction. They're not
Yeah.
like, have you heard of this old film that had Marilyn Monroe in? I thought maybe she might be a little bit. No, they're always like, that's a man, that's a
Yeah.
bloke, Maureen. 100% a man.
Yeah.
No question at all. Speaking with such. I don't think I've ever had this conviction about anything in my life, ever. I've got a degree and I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Stop it.
It's not just transvestigation, but transphobia. Because obviously they misgender everybody.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Just disgusting.
Imagine being like, Marilyn Monroe, he, him.
I know. Well,
So
wasn't she
obscene.
like kind of the number one?
She was a
like-
sex symbol. Yeah, she
Yes.
was almost like what a woman was perceived to be like
Yeah.
perfection, even though she has quite a story surrounding her, poor thing.
It's sad.
It would be quite iconic if Marilyn Monroe
It
was
would
actually
be,
like
yeah.
male, but then she would be like a drag queen, so
Yeah, or if
I
she was
don't
a
know.
trans woman.
well, yeah.
That would be cool.
Oh, Marilyn Monroe, yes, beautiful bollock spine.
That's what the video is going to be called.
Beautiful bollock. Could you imagine? Oh. Okay. All right. Well, sure.
Dum.
There's like a joke about gay jaws. It doesn't go da da. Da, 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 da. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I know. My boyfriend told me that and I thought it was hilarious.
The jawline maketh the man, apparently.
Manners maketh man.
According to transphobes.
I think like.
So many of these women are like seen as the epitome of beauty as well.
Well, this
like,
is it, isn't it? Like Sigourney Weaver's actually like an icon.
Yes.
I wouldn't be like, oh, Sigourney Weaver, that man, like ever. I also feel like, so there's a phenomenon that happens. Any photographers here in the audience can probably vouch for this as well. Certain focal lengths of lenses distort the way facial shapes look, which is why when we have like driver's license photos or passport photos, we quite often think that our nose looks big because it flattens the way that our face looks. There's a famous video of someone taking a photo of like a self-portrait with multiple different types of lenses, and it literally like extends his face back and flattens it. So I think that some of these just being like red carpet shots or candid shots could just be unflattering.
Yeah.
Rather
also,
than like,
lighting,
look at her.
Like if you've got
Lighting.
like harsh lighting, it really like will give shadows. Which
And
would-
all of these women are like contoured to the gods as well.
Yes. And it's like a jawline. Really? But what do we expect? Women don't have
No,
chins.
they don't. No, they don't.
Just go
no.
straight
No,
into
they
the
cover
neck.
it up with their beards.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine? Although I must actually say, it's interesting that Paris Hilton is here because there was a conspiracy when The Simple Life came out that Paris was actually a man. This is probably the first time I've ever heard of like Transvestigators. It used to be on a forum back in the day that she had like really big feet, large hands, and a jawline, and she was really tall. So naturally, that meant everyone
No,
thought
of
that she
course.
was, in fact, not what she says on the tin.
Oh my god. And it's, I don't understand why people would care so much. So what if any of them are trans? And just
Well,
haven't
this is
said
just
anything?
this is the thing, isn't it? Like that man before being like, "Oh my god, a male spy." So what?
Yeah.
And what? We've invested in your fantasy. We're going to agree with the conspiracy. Now what happens?
Yeah.
It's like when people are like, "Oh my god, the world's flat." Okay, then what?
Congratulations.
Lovely,
Yeah.
you get an award.
Find another obsession.
Well, this is just
Yeah.
it, isn't it? Eventually, they do move on to more obscene things
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, that doesn't give me the excitement anymore.
Well, you've seen like the TERF arguments, just like
Well, yeah, they were doing
Spiral.
bisexual people. Now they're like, now there was a famous TERF that was like, lesbians in sports should be banned. My child's not playing with
I
lesbians.
know, and a whole group of them supported. I can't remember. I think it was Italy was removing lesbian mothers from like birth certificates.
Yes, they were.
And the TERFs were like, woo.
Yeah, because they were like, one man, one woman is
Yeah.
like only allowed on birth certificates.
Oh,
Like,
but we're not homophobic.
this is the thing when it comes to like turfy problems though, is that when they say they're not being transphobic, what do they think transphobia is? Because like they are being
Cowering in the
transphobic.
corner at the sight of a trans person. They're like, oh no, I'm not scared of you. I just hate you.
Oh,
That's
it's
not a
it's
phobia.
too much brain power for me. I'm just
Mm.
not interested. Oh, Margot Robbie, isn't she gorgeous? Okay. Margot Robbie is trending. This is a dude. You can see that, right? What's EGI? Oh no, that's what I said earlier when we were having elite
thing.
gender inversion. Yeah, it's like the
Really?
super pretty ones are the ones that are like the most passable, so they get called elite gender inverts or something like that. And I was like, kind of a serve in a weird way, like yes,
Yeah.
elite gender invert. But I know because I know the context. I'm
I'm
like,
gonna
I'll
call
get a
myself
grip.
that. I
Yeah,
don't
there
care
you
if
go.
anyone else thinks it's true,
It's
but
like,
that's.
I'm actually an elite gender invert.
I'm not trans.
No,
so-
no. Right, and then Dreamleafer says, I regret to inform you they are transvestigating Margot Robbie. I hate the word transvestigating.
I hate
It's
it.
the v bit,
But
like
it's just
vest.
so hilarious.
She is also stunning,
Yeah.
gorgeous. So the idea that they're like, this is a dude. If this is what these people think a dude is, what do they think, like, a man is?
If having a strong jawline, because that's, I mean,
This is the epitome
What?
of like, femininity to me.
Yeah.
If they think this is male, what do they
Yeah.
think, like, a man looks like?
I know, because I've seen people go after her jawline, so I'm assuming that's why this person has as well. And it's like, so because a woman
But, like,
has a jaw,
They
like
have-
everybody has
yeah,
a jaw.
Women have jawlines. Like, that's
Yes.
so weird. I mean, like, sure, she's got like a nice straight jawline, but like, what do they want wiggles? Do they have to be like soft and jelly-like and feminine? Like, I don't know.
Yes, you poke it and it goes. Blah, blah, blah.
Because she's a woman, she can't do anything.
Oh no.
Oh,
And
that's unhinged.
Also,
isn't it?
you can tell that's just the lighting of the
We
photo.
can always tell. We can always tell. Yeah, the lighting, we can always tell. She is gorgeous, though.
She is.
Go see the Barbie movie if you haven't. It's very good.
I saw that recently.
It's fun.
Yeah. Predators coming to a ladies' toilet near you and or as a teacher in a school.
The two genders coming to a toilet near you or a teacher in a school.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's this whole framing of like, and like trans women get such a like shit end of the stick.
Well, this is
It's like
isn't it?
trans women are like hated upon, like get out of the toilets, blah blah blah, and then trans men it's like, oh no, we have to ignore you because you destroy our arguments.
Well, this is exactly it.
That's-
There's also something that's like, I read about the other day on Reddit that someone said, okay, if these places become like sex segregated and no longer can a predator pretend to be a woman to get in the woman's toilet, why wouldn't he just pretend to be a trans man?
So much easier. You didn't have to.
You didn't have to do any gender dysphoria
Yeah.
at all then, and
Like-
gender treatment. No.
It would make it so much easier for predators to access women's toilets if trans men were forced into them. Can you imagine?
Oh, it's so
Like-
exhausting. But this just goes to the argument. They're not interested in protecting women and
No,
girls
they're
in their
not.
spaces. They're not
not.
interested in that. What they're interested in is erasing trans
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And sometimes trans women are the most visible, and therefore the direct attack is on us.
Anyway,
Also, a horrible woman. Oh, meanie.
somebody replied.
Go back to your
going,
castle.
You think this woman is a predator, and it's a photo of JK Rolwing. I've seen this happen before, where like it's baiting.
Yeah.
It's a man.
Yeah. It's a man.
It's a man.
It's a man. It's a man, Maury.
They don't care.
They don't.
They don't.
They love to live behind the phrase, we can always tell. You can
Yeah.
never tell. Like, I'm not a fan of JK Rowling. JK Rowling has had, like, gender-affirming surgeries. Like, she's had a little bit of work done. You can just see from, like, how she used to look to how she looks now.
And then I thought it'd be fun to put them together because
Oh.
JK Rowling is a man.
Oh.
And then we can't see the photos, but just 3 photos. I don't think that
I
first
was
photo
gonna
is
say,
her.
I don't think that's her.
I'm assuming that
It's
if you
18th.
expand it,
was gonna
it's
say.
like her as a child.
Oh, maybe. I was thinking, like,
Um,
this, for some reason, any photo like this, I'm like, it was the 1930s. They were in the asylum. Like, it's very, like, you know, those, like, cursed images.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very that. TERFs are claiming that JK Rowling, the most infamous TERF, is a trans woman. I do like the tweet. The tweet? Zeet?
We can call it a tweet.
A tweet? We'll just call it a tweet still.
Yeah.
I do like the tweet account, Right Wing Cope. It does bring me a lot of joy. Having every now and then I'll scroll through Twitter and it's there and I'm just like, oh, people are making sense again.
Yeah.
It is quite nice.
Yeah.
But the idea then of also like, if JK Rowling is like a child in this photo, you would never call a child a man.
Yeah.
You'd never be like, this is my beautiful man, and then just like a toddler waddles in. Like, you would never, would you? Man to me is like a very specific age of a male kind of thing. And like, generally it's someone maybe like, I don't know, 16 or over, you call them a young man and then an adult man.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like, this 2-year-old child, a man. So why do they think that they can do it here? Like, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It would have been too many words for them. To
That's
be
true.
like, here she was a boy, and now she
Yeah,
is a man.
that's true, yeah. Here she was a boy.
Yeah, and you know
love
they would
that.
have said
Oh,
that.
God.
Oh,
It's
just-
exhausting, isn't it? I'm
It
so
just-
shiny right now. Glossy woman. Farrah, do you think Ryan Gosling is female?
Yeah, because of his clavicle.
Sorry, hang on. Let me actually digest what
Yeah.
we're looking at here. Right. Farrah Fawcett has got a straight clavicle, therefore she's male. He's also flexing?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Like,
if I move... Hang on.
If I do that, yeah, you can, because I have if my shoulders are back, it's straight, and then if I do that, it points down. I mean, I do not have anywhere near
Oh my
the
god!
muscle.
I was going to say I've got like a human physiology degree, and I'm like, what? This is about clavicle. What do you mean clavicle? What? Hang on. Am I
I'm-
going to transvestigate myself? Oh, that's a very. I don't like that. Ugh, no, thank you. Not here.
I've heard of this
Muscle
one
mummy.
before.
Have
The-
you?
Yeah, straight clavicles, man, V-shaped or like bent. Not bent, but you know, like pointing down.
Yeah.
Woman.
How weird. Okay.
Taking nothing else into consideration.
Yeah, like.
Literally, Ryan Gosling is a woman because of the clavicles. I don't know where their brains are at.
Well, I don't
the
think they
toilet.
have any of them. Yeah, I don't think they have 2 brain cells to rub together. I think they've just got air. It's just like ear hole, air, and maybe a bit of shouting, and then just like ear hole, nothing. I don't understand. What does this mean? But also like, okay, now what?
Yeah. I think that's
okay,
it.
Farrah Fawcett
It's
is a
like-
man, and what?
It's because they care so deeply.
They do.
I wonder if for some like cis straight guys who are transphobic, it comes from a deep fear of like accidentally.
Oh,
dating
there
a
is- yeah.
trans woman.
No, there
so
is,
like
there
we
is
must
that.
like investigate every woman ever to make sure that I don't go near a trans woman, and it's like
Well, this is
really
where the slur
not
trap
that-
comes from.
Yeah.
It's a trap. It's like, well, it's not really. I've also
Sorry.
never met a trans woman that's ever wanted to date a transphobe. Like, if someone's like, oh my god, I hate trans women, like, the last thing that a trans woman wants to hear is that.
Yeah.
So they're like, No.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. You can have your little hateful group or whatever. Very, like, men going their own way. You heard about that? It's very that.
Or feeling it's the entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this kind of like, I'm a straight man, I'm entitled to whatever I want, and I get to pick. It's my choice not to date you trans women, and it's like, well, no, they wouldn't date you.
I wouldn't want to go anywhere near you, thanks, bye. But yeah, it's the same thing again of like, okay, so Farrah Fawcett's a man, now what? It's like, okay, we are listening, what do you have else to say?
Maybe they're expecting some like big world implosion to happen.
Oh yeah, well it is taking down Hollywood, isn't it? Their thing is all like, oh my god, Hollywood's full of trans people.
I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah, wouldn't have the amazing amount of art that would be made. I can't wait.
Would love it.
Oh, Meghan Markle. Dead now. She's not.
My brain was
you
like,
were like,
wait,
what?
did I miss the news?
No. He's so rectangular. No waist whatsoever. And then the little investigative emoji. This is a very unflattering image, but also I spy a little blur, a little tiny blur on the waistline. I think this is a manipulated image.
We need to have a zoom.
Also, it actually goes in there, because this is just a curtain in the background.
And also, if she doesn't, so what? There's loads of
not
different
everyone
body
is
shapes.
built like this.
Yeah. No.
Shaped like a root canal.
How sexy. Sexy.
I know, right? BBL gone wrong. BBL gone wrong.
What's that?
A BBL. You know what BBL is? Brazilian butt lift.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. So it's very trans surgery. Sometimes, not always. It's where they take juice from somewhere on the body and put it in your hips and ass.
Oh. But a lot of cis women get that as
Yes,
well,
they do. Gender affirming surgeries.
There we go.
They're for everyone.
Yeah, the only thing I've heard about that is like people getting implants and then it looking a bit lumpy.
Have you seen that one where this woman can like flip it around?
I mean, I've not seen it, but I've heard.
I've seen, yeah.
Oh, you've seen it?
I've seen
Okay.
it. It's a lot to watch. It's a little bit like, you should probably go to a doctor quite quickly, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know, the idea of having implants in your ass, though, feels horrible. I've got chest implants, and any time that I lay on my front, I'm like, this is deeply uncomfortable, so I can't imagine only ever being able to sit down on your implants.
Well,
You have implants?
I have testicular implants.
Oh, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I have
implants.
little silicone balls.
Oh.
And they can feel a bit weird sometimes. Because they're just like a little bit firm. So like, if you sit wrong, it's like, I can tell they're there. It was something to get used to. Not in a bad way. I kind of loved it. But it is like, they're there.
I love science. How wild. My goodness. Oh, well, implant buddies.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think Meghan Markle's a man.
No, I mean, she literally was like very
Heavily pregnant recently.
Came out with baby, you know.
Is no one safe from transvestigate? Is no one sacred? It's just everyone's a
anyone
problem.
famous or like with money, you are trans, basically. That's it.
Could you imagine?
Actually,
We're like,
trans people are so powerful.
I know. Oh, elite society, elite gender inverts. I wish we had all the money and the power. Wouldn't be living through this mess. I can tell you that.
I know. Do they really think if all the famous rich people, the most famous rich people, influential people in the world were trans?
Do you think we'd
have
let
such
any
a
of
shocking...
this happen?
Yeah. They'll have an excuse for it though.
Men.
Who have we got?
they're
Margot
all
Robbie again.
gorgeous.
Kristen Stewart. I'm not sure who middle on the right is. That's Anne Hathaway at the bottom.
Yes, and then that's Natalie Portnoy.
Yeah. Who's this?
I have no idea who
I
that
recognise
is. I do
her.
as well. She looks gorgeous. Everyone
I
here
feel
looks
really
very
bad
pretty and
that
lovely.
I know all of them, but what? I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
really sorry for not recognising you.
Miscellaneous brunette lady.
Yeah.
I don't know, sorry.
Miscellaneous.
I think they're all pretty. Not that only ever being pretty is the only sign of ever being female ever, but like, imagine looking at any of these pictures and being like, we can always tell.
Man.
Like, it's
Yeah.
so weird. It almost gets to the point of like, are you wishing they were? So that you could be like, I love those trans women.
I know,
But,
is
you know,
it
it
a
gets a bit
fetish
into
for some of
fetish
them?
wear. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, are you familiar with mpreg? I don't know if I want to explain this. So it's when like cis men get pregnant, but it's like, obviously it's physiologically not possible, but there's like artwork and like body changing like clothing you can get to simulate it.
Oh.
And it's a sex thing.
Really?
And I think a lot of it sounds very similar to like, oh well, I wish these women were men because they can get me pregnant. Like, it's all a lot.
What?
I'm not going to tell you how I
Do you
know
know?
this.
I won't ask. I'll leave that for
Thank
you.
you. Yeah,
Your
use your
secret.
imagination.
I never thought of the concept of maybe it is a fetish, and so they've picked women that they find really attractive and have gone, in my head, I'm going to make them men because that turns me on.
Yeah, chasers. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe it's like a case of like, oh, a girl with something extra. Like, I don't know. It's a bit much to me. Also, she was excellent in this film. I think that's...
Is that Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes, it
Yes.
was really good. And she was like 23 23, I think, 24 in that film.
Have you seen Love Actually?
Long time ago.
There's this scene where Keira Knightley's like looking at her wedding footage.
Oh, yes.
And she's like,
I look quite pretty.
whenever I hear someone else say pretty, it's just like, pretty. Going through my
Have they
head.
transvestigated her yet?
I'm sure they have.
I'm sure. She might. Yeah.
Let's see.
She'd be the sort, wouldn't she? Kiera.
She does have a jaw.
Gonna shout a slur. Not gonna do that.
This is about Megan Fox.
Y'all heard of the theory she is a man? Where did you read that? Do you know anything about gender markers? What?
Oh, gender
God,
markers.
she definitely is a man, 100%. You look more like a man than she does. I was going to say gender markers. Yes, lol. Damn, you took that so personal. What does that mean? Okay, gender.
In my first Transvestigators video,
Yes.
I watched this video, like TikTok, of this woman who is so obsessed. Like her whole, I think it's actually Instagram. Her whole page is about like gender markers and transvestigation and like how to tell if someone is trans.
So marker number 1, the straight across clavicle. We've got the brow ridge. We've got the deep socketed eyes. These are just a few of the opposite gender markers.
And she's like, she uses herself and her husband's bodies, like body shapes, as like the epitome.
As
so
the
it's
default.
like the gender markers for like a
right.
woman is curved, larger hips,
Oh, I see.
small shoulders, small hands, small feet, under a certain height, like soft jawline, all of this. And then for a man,
Sounds very European beauty standard. Yeah.
and for a man, it's like Dorito. Basically, it's like, is he a Dorito man? Big
Okay.
hands and a cheesy triangle body? Yes. Perfect.
Cheesy triangle body? No, not today.
But it's it's bizarre.
Also, how self-entitled do you have to be like, I am the only one? Anyone who doesn't look like me is not actually a human?
But people pointed out that she was literally like describing her own body shape and markers, and they're like, but you don't fit your own definition of like a female.
She's been
gender.
transvestigated.
Yeah. She's
She deserves it. Gender markers to me is like blood test results. Like, what's your
That's a
T level?
scientist
I know.
in you.
I was like, oh, gender markers. Let's talk
No.
about that. Like, no, completely different. What they
No.
mean is like traditional sexual characteristics,
Yeah.
or secondary sexual characteristics in this state.
It's like you must have small feet if you're a woman, which just is bizarre. And then with like a trans
How exhausting.
person- I know, and then like they go after trans people sometimes, like trans men, and they're like, you're too short and your feet are too small. And it's like, but what about the trans men that are taller with larger feet? Like nothing ever quite works. And like, no, we don't care about them.
No,
And,
because they don't
it's
fit the
so-
narrative.
Yeah, it's so
it's
muddled.
weird, isn't
And
it?
then like I know cis guys that are shorter than even the shortest trans guy I know.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not a thing. There's like averages.
Well, yes,
but there's
well,
averages for a reason.
Yeah, exactly
you know?
that. There's always anomalies. So my experience with this, weirdly enough, is that, are you familiar with I guess if you've ever spent any time on 4chan, not that I've been on 4chan, but I saw this post because it was sent to me, troon. Are you familiar with that word? It's like a derogatory term for trans people. I think it's usually associated with trans women. It's like goon and... It's like troon. And I remember, so I was posted on there once with a photo with Rowling and our other friend. And because I'm shorter than both of these people, one is a cis woman and one is a cis man, someone had commented, oh my god, that troon is so short. And I was like, okay, hang on. So what are the rules of this game? Am I like too short to be a woman? Or like too tall to be a
They
woman?
were
Or,
mad because you didn't fit
Well,
their,
this
like...
is, I just got insulted. So I was like, okay, right. So the point is I can't win. So what's
like,
the point?
I find that
Weird.
so bizarre. And then like you see like so many cis people like that like we see with transvestigators, they're particularly women. This is so like targeted towards women because like for some reason men think they have a right to women's bodies. And it's like, I can say what I want and be as horrible as possible. And it's like, if you're a little bit too tall, if you're like a 5'8" woman, no. 5'10", oh my god, 6 foot,
Dead.
absolutely mad.
Yeah, absolutely a man. Oh no. I think it's wishful thinking sometimes. I think it is like us discussing that little fetish moment earlier has made me kind of feel like
It's
maybe
kind
we're
of
onto
flipped
something here.
transvestigation
Yeah, it's made
in
me
my
go
head,
like,
yeah.
oh, have you got a little naughty thing? And
Yeah.
you're not, and you're just kind of like, oh yes, please be a man,
We've
Margot.
got the secret.
Yeah, it's very that. It's very like, what's it? She pegs him. Oh my god, our favourite. No.
Paris Hilton, what a
What a
strange approach. That's not very girly. What's happening to him?
It's just the casual, like, misgendering that's so...
Yeah.
It's like, it's so obscene that I would laugh because it's like, imagine being like, please welcome to the stage Paris Hilton. He is a socialite... Like, imagine being like, he,
No.
him, Paris Hilton.
But like, what effort? Like, you have to effort to misgender somebody like that.
Weird. What a strange approach is also a very interesting way
What's
to
a
start
strange-
a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, what a strange approach. What's wrong with him? Like, okay, sure.
I
That's
disagree
not
with the
very
walk.
girly. Literally, stiletto, tan, blonde, short dress.
Like, also hips, waist, Like,
But
so
also-
many of their own gender markers are
Literally,
there. Like,
but also on like a high fashion runway, because it's Mugler who always plays with like the role of what gender looks like on a body anyway. Quite often, the House of Mugler uses nude illusion to make people look even more slender and svelte and long than normal. So of course they're going to be playing with the way that the body looks.
Valerie
Doesn't make any
doesn't
sense.
understand fashion.
No, Valerie, in the bin. Oh, what's this? Oh, Pride and Prejudice. They totally know about the prejudice, don't they? Transvestigation disclosure now! That sounds like an emergency broadcast, doesn't it? Do you want to sit on my lap? Shall we transvestigate you, Biscuit? You're very blonde. And you've got womanly hips. Right.
Jawline isn't really
Oh, yeah,
there.
no, jawline, no. It's the lighting. Oh my gosh, do yourself a favour and watch the Pride and Prejudice movie with Colin Firth. All the female characters are dudes. It's so obviously disturbing. I'm like, how did I not see it years ago? I thought they were just ugly women. I'm so over it. I'm so over it.
This goes against our previous theory. I think this is a different type of transvestigator.
The pictures are giving me a little bit Little Britain, though.
They're
It's a
not
little bit...
flattering.
They're
But they've been
not.
taken at an angle on
And
a
also-
TV screen.
Exactly, and they're also, it's like a period drama, isn't it? So they
Yeah.
obviously have to look a very specific way. If they were to be in like BBL skinny outfits with like high contour blush, you'd be like, this isn't very Pride and Prejudice.
It's not of its time, is it?
No.
But this is just, I feel like they've gone, oh, these women are ugly. They must be men.
But Stephanie, as a woman, should know better that you look different out of makeup than you do in makeup. And you can also wear makeup to make you look specific. If I was going to do like a period drama makeup, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah. And they've been made to look a very specific way, and photos have been taken whilst they've probably been talking and acting.
It also
and
looks like it's photos of a screen, which is
Yes,
going to distort
which
the way the
is-
face looks
yeah.
anyway.
Especially top right. It's
Oh,
blurry.
we can always
and-
tell. Ha ha, she's got a cock.
No, that's what I would call the video.
There you go, yeah. I
And it's
love the
so
fact there's
obviously-
reactions of people being like, huh, that's ridiculous. 8 shares. Who's sharing that? Oh, Facebook. Oh, who's Juliette Lewis? And what's she doing with that man's head? It's the hairline for me, says Briony Lee. Like, what's she meant to do?
Yeah.
It's her head.
Different people will have different types of hairline. And
Absolutely.
then, like, everybody, as they get older, also their hair will thin.
Yeah.
Like, it just happens.
And you don't know her health condition. She might have something that makes her lose her hair, which is then doubly insensitive. It's one of these things I always think of. If someone wants to comment on your appearance in a way that's constructive and that can be fixed within like 10 seconds, let's say you've got a bit of dust
Something
on your
in your
face or
teeth,
something,
kind
something
of,
in your
yeah.
teeth, you cannot say to someone, oh my god, that hairline. It's like, well, she can't fix that in the
Yeah.
next 10 seconds, so why are you pointing
You've
out something
clearly
that...
pointed it out to cause her discomfort.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
there's malicious behind it. But then again, I've never heard like an earnest transvestigation. Have you been like,
No.
oh, we just think never. It's always
Yeah.
like, man.
It's not from a place of love.
That is not from a place of love.
Yeah.
Poor Juliet. She just took a nice photo with this man.
It could also just
Briony's
be...
like, how dare you?
It could be the angle, it could be the hairstyle.
It could be a filter.
It could be anything. I've seen her in a lot.
I'm trying to think
like-
what I have seen her in.
Have you
recently.
seen Whip It? Okay, yeah,
It's in,
it's
like, the
about
dog.
roller derby.
Oh.
Really good.
Oh, maybe I will.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be talking about roller derby today.
Yeah.
There we go. Especially
It's
on transvestigation.
Yeah, but she's good in... Oh, what has she been in? She has been in stuff recently, but...
She's been in this Facebook group.
She's been in
oh my
this
god,
Facebook group.
famous.
And this is a photo she posted herself. You're trying to
all this
shame
biscuit
her.
fluff.
They're trying to shame her for a photo that she has chosen to post.
I was gonna say
Clearly
usually
she's
it's
not
like
uncomfortable.
yeah, usually it's a photo. These people like post a photo where it's like they've been caught at an angle
Yeah.
or like at a party or like someone else's photo to be like, look, see, this is the real truth. Poor Juliet.
Then, you simply can't replace 007 with a female Kate. Is it Blanchett or Blanchett?
Blanchett.
Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett
Blanchett.
girls.
First male 007.
First male. That would imply everyone else has been a woman.
Well, yes, because they're in Hollywood.
Oh,
so they
oh,
are.
sorry, I forgot the law
Yeah,
of
you know, the rule of everybody's, you know,
Oh,
switch.
Elite gender inverts, yeah. Oh. Kate Blanchett was great in Thor 3, though, as the villain. She had black hair and she looked very villainous, and I was like, yes, queen!
I actually cannot remember a single movie off the top of my head.
Benjamin Button
Not
and the
seen
curious case of Benjamin Button.
Was she in Contagion?
No, that's
Who is
Kate
that?
Winslet.
Kate Winslet is. There's another person. Oh, Goop Lady.
Gwyneth.
Gwyneth.
Not Gwyneth
Gwyneth.
Paltrow.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we can always tell. Her and her fanny candle. RuPaul. all, okay, what's the deception? It certainly explains why she looks so good as a woman. A woman pretending to be a man that dresses in drag. Sickos! Deception! Jennifer, have a little sit down with yourself. Have a little think about where you're going in this life that you're doing all this online. Are you upset, Biscuit?
So
Yeah.
bizarre, because they want to be like, oh, the standard rules, these are the gender markers, this is what tells you who's a man and who's a woman.
And they've picked...
RuPaul is bald and like 6'7".
Yes,
Like
and does
that-
drag. So
yeah.
all of these things are not typical gender markers.
No, very bizarre.
Oh, that is so strange.
But it's like, this is one of the oddest examples, because normally it's like mostly very attractive women that they go after.
Are you saying RuPaul's not a very attractive woman?
Well, they think.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It certainly explains why she looks so good as a woman. Oh,
Oh.
Julie, confused by the concept of an eyelash. Oh, has he got a chest tear? Oh, no, I didn't know that before.
A what?
It looks like he's got a pec tear. So when you
Oh.
exercise a lot in the gym, or you don't even have to actually be in the gym, if you exercise your muscles a lot and you build them a lot, you run a risk of creating what's called a tear, and that can misshape the muscle.
Oh, is that
So
what
I
this
think
is?
maybe that's what he's had there. I didn't notice that before, or it could just be like genetic.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling's breast reduction scars are super obvious in the new Barbie movie. Total trash of a production and not made for children. Just check out this scene. The Barbie film isn't
It's
made for
not
children,
made
and
for
it's also not
children.
been marketed towards children.
No, not at all.
This movie serves to corrupt and program people towards the hatred of the opposite sex. What?
They think it's propaganda.
To hate the opposite sex.
Yeah. So if you're a woman, to hate men. I don't get that.
I don't like. See,
don't-
this is where like this sort of cis hetty nonsense kind of gets really under my skin, because I'm like, surely the point of like growing up and wanting to meet like a partner if you're interested in the opposite sex is to not hate them.
Yeah.
Are they saying that the Barbie movie makes you hate people?
But like the straights aren't okay.
No,
Like, that
'cause
whole
they all
vibe
hate
of
each
they all
other.
hate each other. They marry someone and they're like, I hate you.
But what's the point?
I don't know.
Oh, it's
Sad.
deeply upsetting, isn't it? Sometimes I'm quite happy to be an outsider. Like, sometimes I'm quite happy being on the outside looking in and going, I'm so glad I'm not at that circus.
Yeah. If there wasn't the discrimination, I
Well,
would
yeah,
be very
yeah.
happy.
As
with,
I said earlier, being trans is very easy. It's other people that make it very difficult.
But I just thought breast reduction scars.
Oh, well,
What
congratulations to Ryan for his breast reduction
scars? As
surgery.
in like muscle contours.
It's just exhausting.
But good point, because yes, cis men can have
They can.
gynecomastia.
Absolutely.
And they have top surgery.
And also, it can be very common if they've taken, like, performance-enhancing drugs to
Yes.
get bigger or more muscly. Sometimes that, it's called an aromatic... Aromatic?
Aromatic.
It's
like
something...
smelly.
No, it's not aromatic. Well, it's like testosterone aromatizes to estrogen in the body if it's at high enough
If it's too
doses.
much,
So
yeah.
that's what gynecomastia is caused by having too much testosterone, that it can
Oh.
produce estrogen. Isn't that
So
interesting?
if you have typical T levels and you take more to try and get bigger in the gym,
You run the risk of growing a
Boobies.
nice pair of bosoms, yeah.
bosoms.
Bosoms. Bosomas.
It's a very classy.
Also, for some reason, I don't know why they made Ken quite that shade of pine blonde in the film. It did upset me a little
Did
bit.
it?
Needed to be more icy.
Very
Get
on
my
the
toner.
blonde.
I
You're
very
on
very
it.
blonde agenda. I feel really bad for the guys who still believe their famous fantasy girls are actually females. Embarrassing your soul, mate. Hips don't lie. Oh, were they also against Shakira?
Yes.
The Transvestigate Shakira.
No,
Okay, well,
Shakira's
fine.
song is the Transvestigator theme. That is their theme tune.
Oh, they've got a theme tune now?
don't.
Oh. I was fully invested then. I was like, do they play it when they're typing? Ridiculous. Okay, log into Facebook on their
I
little
wouldn't be
thing.
surprised
No,
though,
to
if
be
this
honest.
person was like bopping. Oh,
My
I
hips don't lie, but your jawline certainly does. I don't know, just silly, isn't it? Embarrassing your soulmate. Okay, is this like a classic case of like internalized misogyny, maybe? Where it's
Maybe.
like, I'm the only woman. You can only like me if you like all these famous fantasy women. They're actually men, so what does that make you? Is that what that is?
Maybe.
That was a bit far, wasn't it? Taylor Swift is the man, not just a man, the man. Don't forget to subscribe. I mean, that's just an unflattering photo, surely. Oh,
Well,
hang on.
no,
Oh,
because
no,
I
is
think
this a makeover?
no, she did like drag in one of her music videos, I think, didn't she?
Oh, right. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not a fan. I couldn't tell you a single thing.
Fair. We could skip Taylor.
I'd
song.
quite like to skip Taylor. Watching every TV show like, that's a man! Well,
Is
have
that
you not got
that's
anything...
what they do?
Have you not got anything better to do, James?
I can literally imagine them being like man, woman. Ah, yes, I can tell. Always tell.
Imagine trying to watch a TV show with that person. You just be like, can you shut up, please? I'm
Yeah.
trying to enjoy the show. This is a hobby. This takes
This
up
is.
whole people's lives
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, Pamela looked so gorgeous when she went makeup free
Yes.
recently. She looks absolutely stunning for her age. Dudes!
Jamie Lee Curtis and Pamela Anderson. They do not age well. Two average-looking men.
Average-looking man? I'm sorry, in what universe is Pamela Anderson an average-looking man?
In what universe is she average-looking, and then in what universe is she a man? Like,
I don't know, clearly this man's fantasy. Oh no, it's Marie. Well, we
Well,
don't know, might not
yeah.
be. We'll transvestigate you, how about that? I do find this so reductive and repulsive eventually, because it's funny a little bit, and then you're just kind of like, oh no, these people are like genuinely obsessed with this.
Yes.
And it starts to be a bit like, are you all just like addicted to hating on strangers?
Yeah.
Or hating on celebrities? Like, at what point in your life do you go, do you know what? I've got a free afternoon. I'm going to log onto Facebook and just go,
Look at that woman's jawline, she's not a woman, she's a man.
Love it so much. Quit your job. And
yeah,
that's what you do all
love
day,
you,
every day.
love your hair, hope you die. Like, what are you doing? I don't think I've ever had enough time on my hands in the last few years to be like, I'm going to go online and spread hate. Maybe that's just because of the job I do.
Who cares?
Yeah, like,
Literally, who cares?
I'm almost a little bit more sort of like flabbergasted that they do not age well. I think they've aged exactly correct.
Yes.
Your idea of what people aging well in Hollywood is like is completely fabricated by like surgery, fillers, filters, and also like if you're still watching a movie of someone from 20 years ago, you're gonna in your mind think, oh, that's what they look like still, and then you see a sudden new photo and you're like, oh, but that's just because people age.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Jessica!
Oh, they're all mean.
They're so mean,
they're
aren't
so
they?
mean.
Meanies.
Mean.
Not interested. Bullies. That was it.
That's
oh
it.
my god!
We're done.
Oh, Pamela Anderson's a man. It's confirmed. It's not confirmed. What a
All the
palaver that
Transvestigators
was.
for
Well,
today.
okay. Well, I'm very glad that we saw that.
Obsessed transphobes.
This is the thing, isn't it? It's just like the level of transphobia, it really rots the brain. I find that anyone who posts one thing that's transphobic, then like all their subsequent posts are incredibly transphobic. Like the same thing happened with Nohan that little while ago. The one who attacked Bailey J. Mills because her boyfriend, was pregnant. Trans man who gave birth recently. No?
So blank.
Okay, never mind. Basically, it's a classic case of as soon as someone makes like a transphobic video or an influencer or someone makes like a transphobic comment about something, it very swiftly becomes their entire brand. And it's like they can't see the rot happening. I'm just like, as soon as
Yeah.
someone posts something transphobic, I'm like, it's going to consume their lives.
Yeah.
And then it does.
You're right, the very small number will get called out and be like, yes, I was wrong. I have seen the errors, but it's not common.
No, it
Most
really
of
isn't.
them then just like double and triple down and just go deeper and deeper, and we see it so many times.
And then you end up like with someone like Glinner on Twitter being like, I'm a woman on the dating site. And then
my
it's like
God.
your family's left you, your wife's divorced you, your kids won't speak to you, and you don't have a career now.
Yeah.
All because you're just so invested in hate.
It's almost like
It's
they can't
embarrassing.
stop themselves.
It is. It's a compulsion. It's
Yeah.
like an addiction to being awful. Not interested. Have you ever been transvestigated? Comment below.
Anyway, yes, that was it for
Oh,
today's video. Thank
that's
you so
nice.
much for joining me.
Well, thank you for joining me
Yeah.
in my studio
I
today.
know, thanks for having me. And we did
Welcome.
make a video.
We
For
did.
Luxeria's channel.
We
so
did.
I, will
I
leave
didn't
a-
say that we were doing it on my video though. Oops, I'll have to
That's
put
fine.
a pinned
I
comment.
forgot to introduce you properly at the beginning of mine. We're equal. I will leave a link in the description box to the video we made or your
yes.
channel, whatever's
Yes.
happening first.
Yes.
And yeah, definitely go check out Luxeria.
Thank you. Little
Thanks,
Biscuit's
thanks,
being
guys.
very impatient. He wants cuddles.
Yes, we should wrap this
Look.
up.
Aw.
So, as always, thank you so much for watching. Think about giving the video a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, but no pressure. And yeah, much love. Bye.